Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today we have teams for ya. Teams for Tuesday. Team Tuesday. Tuesday teams. Taco Tuesday. Um, yeah, here's your faction event team for Tinkertown. That's the faction assault going on right now on Tuesday, September 22nd. I decided to go with the Triple Ferocity Rage Reaver. I really like this team, and anybody can use it. If you don't have the Rage Reaver, you could also use Triple Finesse Nimbus Bow. If you don't have the Nimbus Bow, you need to get one of those two weapons, but either way, you can use your Mountain Crusher if you don't have those, and you'll still be okay. It won't be that bad. It'll be okay. But yeah, try to get one of those two weapons if you don't have them, because these two Guardian teams are really good and can be used in a lot of delves and a lot of other situations where you can use red and yellow. So anytime you see them pop up in the Soul Forge or whatever, you need to go get them. Nimbus Bow was in there a couple months ago, so it should be coming back around soon. I can't remember when Rage Reaver was in there, but when it pops up, I'll make sure to scream it at the top of my lungs on Monday to let you know to get it. And it's only like 300 diamonds, so don't. It's not like you're gonna spend a bunch. I would get it when it's there. It's pretty important, but not integral to the team. I mean, it makes the team way better, but you don't have to have it to make the team work. And I'm just hoping you guys have one or the other at least, since you can use both teams this week for Tinkertown. You can either use Triple Finesse or Triple Ferocity. So I'm hoping we either have the Rage Reaver or the Nimbus Bow. And if you also, with the Ferocities, make sure you use the Shaman class first of all, so you can make your hero a Taurus, so it can gain all those stats that the other Guardians gain when they get extra turns. But you could also use like Flammifier if it's available, Summer's Fury if it's available. There's other weapons that will also not work as good, but you know, get close. Anything that makes red would be fine. And there's a lot more of that than there is the yellow for ferocity or finesse. But yeah, if you don't have either weapon, it's probably a better idea to go with the ferocity team, because there's other weapons that actually are a little bit better than Mountain Crusher, like Summer's Fury, Flammifier, all that stuff that makes red. Even some weapons we see later on in this video make red. Just like the Urska something makes red too. So there's lots of weapons that make red, and not as many that make yellow, I don't think, that are good anyway. So, no excuse really. And anytime you see the Rage Reaver or the Nimbus Bow, you need to go get it, because these teams are being used a lot right now. They weren't used as soon as they came into the game, but people realized pretty quickly that if you put 3 of them on a team, they're really good, and then if you put a weapon that gets extra turns, you get 12 to every stat every time you make an extra turn. So showed that on level 240 down in Tinkertown, just to show you that it works. You only need to go to like half of that to get all the rewards. But make sure you are getting Chaos Orbs. It's very important right now, because the Enraged Kurandara and the Soul Forge, the new Zul'Goth. If you don't have Zul'Goth, now you got 2 Zul'Goths to get, sorry to say. Enraged Kurandara needs 8 power orbs. So however many more power orbs you need for Zul'Goth, add 8 onto that, and that's how many you need now. So make sure you get every single event done in the game, so you can get every single Chaos Orb that's available, because you know 75% of them are going to be green when you open them up. Here's the team from yesterday for the World event. I'm going to show another one after this that's slightly different, that uses skulls instead of spell damage. Since our metal can do both, I made a team for both. This is the spell damage team. I got Axe of the North, King Mikhail, what is that, Ursula or something, and then King Mikhail. Ursula's only there to start them with 50% mana. It also does damage to all enemies, which is nice. But it's not as powerful as the King Mikhail. And the important part with this team is that we have 3 troops that hit all enemies. And they all start with half mana. And our weapon gives brown and green, I think, which is the colors we need. So, if you get to a point where you're not killing in one shot, very quickly you're going to have your next one up and they're going to kill. They'll clean it up. I didn't have any trouble until pretty late. And plus the medal thing, like with these world events, what you're meant to do is do a little bit each day. But what the meta is right now is get it all done in the first 2 days. So the meta kind of puts you behind a little bit, because normally if you do a little bit each day, your whole guild's going to do a little bit each day, and then you'll have more medals, and your team will be stronger. So sometimes I show these teams early on Tuesday before I have a lot of medals, and they would be way better if I had 3 of the event medal, you know what I'm saying? But right now, as I'm using this team, I have like 1 event medal. So where it would probably one-shot normally, and if you're playing it a little bit at a time each day, and everybody in your guild was too, and you're getting more medals, like when I would normally have 3 medals, I've only got 1, so sometimes it's not one-shotting, but it was still very rare. And even when it does, like I said, we got 3 troops that hit all enemies. 2 of them are exploding a bunch of gems, giving themselves mana back. So this team, I think, is pretty perfect for spell damage team for this event. Don't see really any way you can improve it. Using Sentinel, so our hero can be the tank. Barrier, lots of defense. And then the 3 troops under it are going to just wreck. Wreck in one shot most of the time. But like I said, the only problem is if your medals keep up with your team. And it's a hard thing to do because we're trying to get this done in the first 2 days because we got Guild Wars coming. I got to do that still today. I still got to do Faction Assault and Guild Wars. I did a lot of the world event, so I might take a break from the world event until, you know, Saturday, Sunday, just to see where we're at. Because I think I pretty much did my part after today. But if the guild needs more help, I'll give more help. I've got a few more sigils. I didn't use every single sigil. But yeah, I think this is a really good spell damage team if you want to do it. I think King Mikhail is a legendary. These might be legendary troops, but the next team is less rarity intensive, base rarity intensive. It's a little bit easier to get the skull troops. If you're looking at these troops and saying, oh, I don't have King Mikhail, or I don't have Ursula, I don't use either one of those troops in the next team. And we do skulls. Because the medal is skulls or spell damage. So we're going to use skulls in the next team. But not much to say about this team. Just cast your King Mikhails whenever you have them. He's more important than the Ursula because he actually destroys a row, which is 3 whole rows of gems. And you want to do that ahead of the other guy, because the Ursula will just do damage and not help itself get back up. So anytime you have a choice between the two, make sure you do King Mikhail. If you got every single one of your troops up, King Mikhail is the priority. Usually if you cast King Mikhail and they somehow survive and you have Ursula will clean up. But if you have a choice, do King Mikhail. King Mikhail always the top priority, just because he explodes and gives everybody mana back. So definitely the highest priority on the team. Probably followed by Ursula, followed by the Axe of the North, because Axe of the North performs best when nobody has mana, so he can get everybody up. Might be a toss-up between Ursula and the Axe of the North if Ursula would not one-shot. Because if you cast Axe of the North, you might be able to get your King Mikhail up faster, and then one-shot, instead of casting, not killing, and then needing to get your your Mikhail up. But yeah, that was that team, and now here is the Skull team that I made. We got Urskull the Crown, Beastmaster Torben, Corrupted Urska, and Erskine Blue. I think that's that last thing's name there. So there is a legendary on this team, Beastmaster Torben, but it's an underworld legendary, so it's more like an epic. Really easy to get. Just go down in the werewoods, throw some chaos shards. You farm delves every day, right? You have a little stack of chaos shards, right? Just like you stack up some keys sometimes, you stack up chaos shards. Go get the Beastmaster Torben. It's not that... It'll cost like 1,000. Maybe 1,000 chaos shards. If you get unlucky, maybe 2,000. But I guarantee you'll get it within 2,000. Which isn't that much. That's 10 portals. 10 bulks of portals. That's not that many. Then we used Corrupted Urska and Erskine Blue. Erskine Blue starts with half mana and makes a bunch of red. Not a bunch, but like 9 or 10 red. And has a 50% chance to enrage all allies. So making red, which we need for our Beastmaster Torben and our Corrupted Urska. And then a chance, 50% chance to enrage everybody, which is helpful. For some reason, my first troop there did not want to stay enraged while I was recording. I would enrage it, it would stay enraged for one turn, and then it would lose it. Or they would cast on them, and one of the enemies has something that debuffs you. So I kept getting unlucky, but also the Corrupted Urska, the more purple you destroy with its ability, the more random enrages you get. So 2 chances to get your first troop enraged right there. Enraged deals double damage, pretty sure. And we're already doing like 160% extra skull damage. Plus, as the week goes, you'll get more medals and more badges and do more skull damage. So, if you happen not to one-shot something, later on in the week you would. The Beastmaster Torben turns brown into skulls, and I think blue into red, which also helps get everyone up. It'll get the Corrupted Urska up, it'll get itself back up. It might transform into something else. If it does, then hopefully you're almost done with the battle anyway. Because you just made a bunch of skulls on the board, and you're probably barriered and enraged and all that business. But yeah, convert blue gems to red and brown to skulls. This guy explodes a gem and enrage a random ally for every purple you destroy, and that one creates 9 red gems, 50% chance to enrage. I would think the further you go in, you might want to put the Corrupted Urska in first slot, and then your Sentinel in second slot, and then your Beastmaster in third, and then your Erskine Blue in last. Like flip-flop the, move the Corrupted Urska to first, and then move everybody down one. If you get super deep and your medals are not keeping up with you, because the Corrupted Urska will do reflect skull damage, and it has more attack than everyone else, and your Sentinel can be your backup tank, and the further you get in, I don't know, that's just a thought. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, consider joining. Just a quick team video for you. No mythics, easy to get legendary, skull and spell damage. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, consider joining. Peace.